right, guys, welcome to a Student of the Game podcast. I'm Kevin, I'm the student, and today we have our newest teacher, Verkedric Vaughns. We're extremely excited to have you on, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Appreciate you.
Nice, man. So it looks like, we just so everybody knows, the Cowboys are playing now. It wasn't looking good, and we've turned the TV off just to keep us from stressing out too much, man. What do you think?
Man, this is my city. I was rooting for them, but, yeah, it's real sad right now.
It wasn't looking good. Well, man, tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing, your current endeavors, your brand. Just give us a real quick synopsis of kind of what you got going on.
So right now there's two things I got going. You know, I got my personal brand, VVS, going, and I'm a professional day trader. That's what I do every day.
Okay, nice, man. We're really extremely excited to, kind of dive into this. I've got a ton of questions. I know a lot of the audience does. I want to take a quick moment and give a shout out to this episode's sponsor, True Labs Energy. I've talked about this on a previous episode. An amazing product, something that I've talked about it. I use it constantly. The Hydrate 15 is my personal favorite. It keeps you hydrated, allows you to maximize the water that you're taking in. But I will admit to the audience, this last week, I think I kind of numbed out of my pre-workout, and I started using their Pre-Plus, which is enhanced from their Pre, and it was killer. For me, I love the itches. It's an awesome workout. We've both been in the fitness industry for a long time. This was the first pre-workout that didn't give me the itch but allowed me to stay laser focused. So I'm recommending all you guys to at least give it a shot. My favorite thing is that they come in individual servings, so you can throw it in your gym bag, throw it in your backpack, throw it in your briefcase. I want you guys to check it out, truelabs.com. The discount code that you guys will get is STUDENT, just like a Student of the Game podcast, STUDENT. Use that. Go get your products. Get stocked up for the new year. 2022 is a new us. So, Verkedric, give us a little bit about your background. Talk to us about, the come up. Talk to us about the beginning.
Okay, so, yeah. So, like I said, it started back, when I graduated college from Baylor. I didn't go into the NFL, didn't sign a contract. And at that point, coming from, Mesquite, Texas, when my family there wasn't coming back home, you got to make a way.
Yeah.
And so that's how we grew up. And, I was 23 when I graduated, and, I came back and stayed with my brother for about 5 months after I was done with college, and had a few workouts, just didn't get signed. And then it got to a point where, I'm a music guy, and I made a song, and in the song it was saying, I got to find a way to make some money, because I can't keep asking people, can't keep,
Yeah.
And so after that, I decided to, go coach for a little bit in high school, back in my hometown.
Coaching football?
Coaching football, yeah. Coaching football back in my hometown. And, I was still young, and I still wanted to play.
Yeah.
And so, one of my coaches gave me advice to, do what you want to do. You're young. Take chances. And so that's when I decided to push VVS. It was created actually in 2018, my senior year, because I knew I needed a brand before I got to the NFL.
Yeah.
And so, or I became a professional football player. And so, with that being said, I wanted to do it in college, but it's illegal to make money.
Yeah.
Now it's not.
Now it's different. Yeah.
Right,
now it's a much different game.
I wish it was 2 years later.
Don't we all, right?
and so I ended up making this, and then I took the leap of faith once I stopped coaching, and actually made the logo. Well, I didn't make it. Funny story how I came up with the logo is, I'm big on manifestation. And so I was on the phone with my dad one day, and I was like, Dad, I want a logo. I need to find a legit logo. Simple, not too much.
Yeah.
And I was on the way to Walmart. I was like, Dad, it'll be crazy if I find someone in Walmart that can do my logo.
You're saying this before you get to Walmart?
This is before I got to Walmart.
While you're on the way?
I'm literally finna turn into Walmart.
You did not find someone at Walmart, did you?
I found someone in Walmart.
Man, okay. Tell me, okay, so you pull up at Walmart. How does this play out?
So I was looking for a couch because I got my apartment back in Mesquite. I was looking for a couch. And so I saw this girl with tattoos all over spots of her body. Mm-hmm. So I knew she was artsy. So I was like, hey, I like your tattoo. What do you do? She was like, I'm a graphic designer. I said, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
This is right after you had the conversation with your dad.
I promise. You can call him right now and be like, did this happen? He going to say yes.
Okay.
And so she was like, yeah, I'm a graphic designer. I was like, so can you do logo? She was like, yeah. I was like, how much you charge? It was really cheap. And I was like, okay, let's get to work.
Yeah.
And so that's the story on how I came up with the original VVS logo.
And that's kind of how it was birthed.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout this show, we're gonna dive into a lot of questions that I have, and I know a lot of people have, both the day trading, both what your brand represents, the origin of it, the heart behind it. But I really want to put a little bit of focus in the understanding of the beginning. And
Okay.
I think a lot of people in life, they look at the pinnacles of success. They look at things when it's set, right? They look at you now, and you've got your brand, and you've got your success, and you've got people coming in to your coaching. I want to look at the beginning. I want to look at where it began. I want to take a moment there. Talk to us about the sports realm. I'm very curious because when you really study success, when you study successful people, there are many common denominators, and a lot of them are their innate drive. And one of the biggest things that I found in my personal search is when you find people that played sports at a high level. It doesn't have to be Division I like you did, but just at a high level, whether it was in the upbringing of a big high school, right? And we live in Texas.
Right.
High school football is as big as other states' colleges.
Right.
These people have such a different expectation as to what needs to be done, what is required. Talk to us about the mentality you have now. How much of that came from playing football at the Baylor University? And, I don't know if you guys are picking this up, but there's some rocks on those fingers, man. There's more than one. I just want to say that. Give us a little bit of insight into that. How much did that play effect into who you are today?
There was an amazing guy, my strength coach named Kaz Kazadi. He's at TCU now. That guy was the hidden secret at Baylor. When I say he poured so much knowledge into us, and I always taught us that knowledge is power. And there was one word that really, really stuck with me is relentless at everything you do. We always used to say that. You got to be relentless. And so in relentless, that means, not giving up no matter what. No matter what, giving it your all, no matter what. And so that's kind of what I've stuck with all my life. Also, there's three other words that I live by, and that's being consistent, relentless, and being adaptable. That's also a big thing that he also taught me to be, or taught us to be, because in life and in business with sports, you always got to adjust to the environment.
It's changing. It's always changing.
You go to what Iowa State, and when you play up there, the field is like rocks. You got to wear, instead of wearing the normal cleats, you got to wear the grass cleats.
Yeah.
It's cold. The food up there, it wasn't good. You got to adapt to all of that. And so, with that being said, it's like you really have to become. You just got to become adaptable. That's the biggest thing. And when sudden changes in a game, and interception is thrown on the offense, and you got to get right back out there after one play when it was just a 30-play drive or a 20-play drive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that mindset that you got to have, that relentless mindset, like, I got to get it done no matter what.
Yeah, no excuses.
Right.
And, and I firmly believe those things are very challenging to go get elsewhere, because once your mind has developed, you've become what you've been molded to be. You're changeable, right?
Right.
But it's not as easy. The best way I can describe it to people, if you learn a language at an early age, your ability to retain and keep that skill set, that understanding, you can carry that the rest of your life. But for me, and I'm open about it, I'm trying to learn Spanish. It's impossible to learn. I'm not going to use the word impossible, but, man, it is tough.
Yeah.
It is tough, because as opposed to learning Spanish, I'm trying to translate English to Spanish. And then when you say something, I'm trying to translate it back to English in my head.
Right.
And I'm just so behind that I wish, I would have learned this so much earlier. And I think about that when it comes down to your innate mentality, your drive, the things that you're talking about, these things that have stuck with you your life about being relentless, being adaptable. These are things that you now can carry with you that were molded in you at a time where you were still pliable, you were still Play-Doh.
Right.
How much of that is do you value in your day-to-day now?
Always. It's with everything, Like I said, I also mentioned the word consistent. It's like, even if you at a low, your lowest, if you just stay consistent, something good is going to come out. Have that faith, and, that's what we always drove by, just having faith, staying consistent, and believing. And so with sports, transitioning over to the business side, that's why, you get a lot of interviews with former sports players, and they get good jobs because of that mindset, like you mentioned. And it's like, it's just a relentless effort, constant, every day you battling in your mind every day. Like, I remember my freshman year, he took us through, it's called a Gogi. And that first week of a Gogi, I had 20 offers out of high school. That first week of a Gogi, I literally questioned myself if I really wanted to play football.
Walk me through what a Gogi is to those of us who don't know.
Basically, it's basically like a military workout where they stretch you to your lowest, to where you about to tap out.
For a day?
This is every Friday. If you redshirt, this was every Friday. Every Friday, I'm talking about, we climbing ropes all the way up to the top of the ceiling. We got logs, water poles, but you have to communicate with each other. You have to be on one accord, all of that. And
so it's just a different level.
It's a whole different level. And it's like, if you don't communicate, number one, if you're not on the same page, and you gotta motivate your team while you're under stress. Yeah. And that's football. Mm-hmm. That's football. That's 100%. That's really life. You know what I'm saying?
That's everything.
Yeah, right. And so we did that. He conditioned our minds to be like that. Now come on now. What can't we do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's conditioning.
Right.
It's conditioning. So walk me through this process, right? I've had this question plenty of times, and I've spoke with, I've got a ton of friends that, played at that level. But I can never fathom the pressure of the moment you realize, okay, maybe the next level of this sport is not happening. And obviously in that pressure, you either fold or you mold. Yeah. One of those two things happens, and you molded. But take me through that. Take me through that moment. Take me through that realization. Was it simple? Was it challenging? Was it quick? Was it long?
I was very fortunate to value relationships at Baylor and outside of everything. That's what my mom taught me, my dad taught me, to value relationships. And so for me, it was challenging that first year. That first year is like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, that's when, shout out to my boy Quan Jones. He put me on at LA Fitness, and I was still around, being active in the gym and stuff like that, and, and still working out. So I knew I still wanted to play, and I got other opportunities. But, when you don't get that call that you've been hoping for your whole life, it's like, okay, do I give up? Do I give up, just stop playing ball, or this all I've been doing all my life? And so what actually, you got to challenge yourself. What else do you know? Yeah. What else do you know how to do? And if you really don't know how to do anything else, my advice is just get around people that's doing other stuff and reading books. Like, you gotta gain more knowledge about something to get you over that hump.
To learn. To round yourself around people that can help you mold.
Right.
So, let me ask you this, right? And I've asked this question to a few people, but I love the different answers from the channels they've been in. Throughout college, right? You're playing ball, and we all know how playing ball in college is. You ain't doing much. You're playing ball.
Yeah, right.
Let's be honest. You're playing ball. How much coaching, how much experience, how much knowledge did you get about the real world when ball is over?
Like, since I've been playing?
During college. Are they giving you any at all?
It's tough. Coach Kaz did, but it's only for a brief moment in the morning, like for about 30 minutes, and then you go to class, and then you come back and go to practice. So if it's really not important to you, you're not going to retain it.
It goes by.
It's all a business, and so it's a job. It's really a job, college football. But when you're 18 and 19, you're not thinking about what they're saying.
You don't think about none of that.
You're not thinking about none of that. You're thinking about, dang, I got to go to class now.
Yeah.
I'm tired from 6 a.m. workout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the older guys, we know that it's coming to an end. So we try to soak in what we've been taught over the years.
Towards the end.
But when you first get there, that's what I can challenge a lot of the young athletes to. When you first get there, pay attention to everything, because, and make relationships, because you get to your senior year and try to do that, it's too late. You already created an image for yourself.
Yeah.
And so if your image is, I don't care, or I'm just a football guy, what do you think the boosters or the
That's what everyone sees you.
They're gonna see you as that.
And now
type
you're
of
trying
person.
to switch it up because you know the end is coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I focused on going in, is, like I said, making relationships and making my appearance an important thing.
Were you intentional with that, or is that just who you are?
Honestly, it's who I am, but, at the college level and at Baylor, since Baylor, Baylor is a significant name around this world.
100%.
And so, you can go anywhere and find someone that was associated with Baylor University. And so
Huge alumni.
I had my Coach Groves, my mom, my dad, all of these guys telling me, hey, go talk. Go talk. And that's one thing that I don't think colleges do a lot. They want you to perform.
Yeah. They want you to play well. The networking in the eyes of the business of college sports, everything outside of what you're doing on the field is a distraction.
Right.
And as bad and as circumstantially wrong as that may be, it's the business they're in. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of money tied behind wins and losses.
Right.
There's a lot of people who financially gain or financially lose based on the performance of this team. So for me to operate in that light and have my players, trying to network and talk to people and gain knowledge, you're getting away from the sport. I need you to play the sport. And that's tough because, I believe it's so challenging as a young athlete because the one thing you're thinking about is winning.
Right.
Your ultimate goal is getting to the next level. You're not really worried about what happens if you don't make it to the next level because that's a distraction from getting to the next level.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Once you find out, hey, maybe this door is not going to be open for me,
right, it's
tough because it's at that point it's probably right before. You're realizing it when the bus is leaving. You're not realizing it when you arrive at the bus station.
Right.
So for you, obviously, you get out of school, you're done playing ball, you're with your brother. What are you doing professionally at the time?
So I got a job at LA Fitness here in Dallas, and I was training clients, starting my I wanted to eventually have my own training business, and then after that, I gave my high school coach, which now is the AD of Mesquite ISD. I gave him a call and said, I want to try out this coaching thing, because I had a CFL private workout. They didn't sign me. Mm-hmm. I went to play arena. They canceled the season because of COVID.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was like, by the way, I was living in a hotel at that point by myself for about 4 months after I moved out of my brother's. I want to start. My back was against the wall, and when your back is against the wall, you ain't got no choice but to grind.
So walk me through that. So did you leave your brother, or did your brother say, hey, it's time?
It was kind of mutual, he was going through some things and I was going through some things, and, we decided to, the best thing for me to do was to, just leave and start creating for myself. And,
okay.
I actually went around to, a lot of people don't know this. I think my dad don't even know this. That's my guy. I actually went to like 3 hotels and talked to the general manager and was like, hey, this is my story. I'm a young black kid trying to make it. I graduated from Baylor University. I'm a professional football player here, and can you give me a good rate?
Yeah. Just saying, hey, I'm down on my luck. I need somebody to give me a shot.
Right. And the guy, thank God, general manager at Grapevine, his name's Chris. Shout out to him. He said, I know how you feel, and I was a platinum member of Marriott also, and so he gave me. He gave me a deal, and shoot, that helped me. That helped me the next 4 months, and then I called my coach, my high school coach, and said, "Hey, can you get me in?" And he got me in at West Mesquite High School, back where I grew up, and I stayed there for a season, and then I ended up getting another opportunity to go play football. Okay. And right after that, that's when I started my brand. Right after that, because it was a period from December to March that. I needed an income. Yeah. And so that's when I started my brand and took the leap of faith.
So what is it that changed the pathway, right? So let's walk through it. We're getting things going. You go to the general manager and he empathizes with you. You explain your story and he sees you and he says, I got you. Right. And he gives you a deal to help you out. When in all honesty, I think we're all smart enough to realize it was him believing in you. It was him understanding your heart, your mind, where you're at in life, and wanting to help you. So now you're coaching. You're in the coaching game. what is it in your mind that says this isn't it? You know, because again, there are a lot of people out there who have been coaching in the high school level, middle school level, elementary school level, and they're going to do that until the day they die.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to retire as a middle school coach. And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing.
Right.
But again, we're on this show to learn from people who have more ambition, where that's not enough. It's what is it in your mind that made you say, I want to do something different, I want to do something bigger? Was it something that was already there and it just was the right time, or was there a switch that just flipped?
You know, I got into it, you know, I'm for the kids and I'm for giving back, but, you know, being 24, 25, you know, you still can move. You're still healthy. And just getting knowledge from older coaches, like, okay, you know, you still can play. Why aren't you giving it your all? You don't want to have that what if when you're 40.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So I always kept that in the back of my head, and you know, I reached out to a couple guys overseas, and I got another opportunity to go over there. And so in arena, I got up opportunities and I took them.
Yeah. So and I'm glad you brought that up, because I talk about it a lot. I think not enough people put attention to understanding that one day you may have regrets. And if you consider that now, you gotta squeeze the lemon dry. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like that's something that clicked in your mind, was like, I don't want to get to 40, as you said, or 50, or the end of my life, my deathbed, and go, man, I wish I could go back to being 20, and I wish I would have done a little more here, done a little more there, or tried a little harder.
Right.
And, you know, I'm a firm believer, I've talked about this all the time, losses don't equal regret. Losses, you accept them. Regret comes from when you could have played better.
Right.
You know, I've said this once before. I was talking to a good buddy of mine, I think it was yesterday or the day before. If you and I played one-on-one, right, let's say we wagered it just to make it more competitive,
right,
and I lost. The loss is not going to eat me up. It's realizing, man, I could have played harder.
Right,
I could have gave
right.
a little bit more energy.
Right.
Man, I left that and I still was had some in the tank. But if I give everything I got, I'm talking about everything I got. I'm diving for the ball. I'm beat. I'm drained, right?
Right.
And I lose. And in my mind, that's all I had. That loss isn't going to hurt.
It ain't.
It's not going to hurt. It's because he was better than me.
Right.
You know,
right,
I was talking to a buddy
right.
yesterday, and I used the analogy. If I played Kobe and I gave everything and I lost, I'm not going to be in the drive back regretting that. I'm going to be like, he's better than me.
Right.
You know,
right.
losses really come from when you could have done more, and that registered to you. You were like, man, I've got to really give this a go so I don't regret this later in life.
Right.
You know, I firmly believe people don't see that enough. They don't see that until that day comes, and now they're like, oh, my body's giving up, my back's out, my knees are bad, it's too late.
Right.
You know, how did that process in your mind? Was it just something that was kind of itching back there, or did you consciously think about it?
You know, all the time it's like, man, I know I can still play. That was my mindset, to go still play football, and I'm like, I know I can still go play.
Yeah.
If it's for me, it's for me. If it don't work out, it don't work out. But I know that I gave it my all to go play. And so, for me, honestly, when I decide that I don't want to work out and train at the level that it takes to be a professional athlete, that's when I know I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
I still want to go to the gym. I still want to go push plates. I still want to go do all of that stuff. And so I still got opportunities right now to go play. Because
you're still performing at that level.
Yeah.
You still are able to hold yourself to that expectation.
Right.
And you're saying, essentially, when you really believe in your heart of hearts, you're no longer capable of performing at that level of expectation, then it's over.
Yes.
Then the ship has sailed.
Yeah.
And until then, the ship is still on the dock.
You have to.
You have to. And you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because I really believe you have to see yourself as that version. You have to see yourself capable. That's the only way you get a shot.
Right.
You know, I watched a Draymond Green interview, and you know, it was very controversial. The whole world was talking about it when he said that he felt he was the best defender of all time. And people were like, oh, this dude's crazy. So I watched his interview, and he said, I believe that. And he said, if I believe that I'm the greatest defender of all time, and I play that way, and I have that expectation of myself, it gives me a shot to actually be that.
Right.
But if I don't wake up every morning and look in the mirror and see myself as the greatest defender of all time, I'll never even have a chance to get close.
Right.
And I believe that. I believe if you look at the pinnacle of anything, the best to ever do it, top 5, top 10, top 20, doesn't matter. When you get to that peak of the mountain, every single one of them thought they were going to be the best. That's just where they ended based on the cards they were dealt and the effort that they put in. But they all truly believed in their mindset, I'm going to be the best.
Right.
You can't get that high unless you believe that.
You can't.
Because it takes, just like you're talking about, it takes sacrifice, man. You're still in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
You're still in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, it's not, I ain't gonna lie, it's not easy, but it's like, it's that drive and that want to. It's like, you don't want to sell yourself short, because I saw it. I saw it with my own family, like, get complacent, and I'm like, yo, it's 5-10 years down the road, and you still doing the same thing. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm the one in my family. I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna do what it takes. If I gotta go across, if I gotta go to another state just to meet someone to get this opportunity, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, because you have the ability to do so.
With my last $200, if somebody tell me to come here and I got something for you here, I'm gonna do it, because you never know what'll happen. You know, you never know who you can meet along the way, and you can just straight up be like, hey, well, I ain't got no money. Dang, you spent your last out here. Well, here's $5,000. You just never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just never know.
I get it. And people are so afraid of what could go wrong, they forget to ask the question of, well, what could go right? Mm-hmm. That's the question that has to drive the effort. Well, what if I go and something goes right? And that what if, you just got to shift that what if. Stop saying what if it goes wrong and just say, what if it goes right?
Right.
What if I go out there on my last dollar and it goes right? You know, it's weird enough. When I was growing up, I was younger. I was probably 14, 15 at the time. There was a family friend of my grandmother, and this is a true story. He walked into a Subway. It was a true story. Walked into a Subway with he had $10 to his name. He had nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, he had been trying. He had just got out of Rice College, and just life was hitting him. It was beating him up, right? So he walks in a Subway. It's his last $10, and he knows he needs to eat. And he walks in and orders a sandwich, $5 footlong, right? We all remember that commercial when they're not $5 anymore.
Right.
And this lady walks up to him while he's in line, and she says, "You're a beautiful man. What do you do?" And he goes, "Hey, I'm in between jobs. You know, and the pride of a man is tough to say, hey, I'm unemployed. Right. I'm in between gigs." And she says, I'm a model talent scout, and I want to offer you an opportunity. Mm. And he says, okay. I mean, he's got nothing. He has nothing.
Right.
She says, I need you to come out to California. Mind you, I'm in Houston at the time. So this is in Houston. The story takes place in Houston. She says, I need you to come out to California. And he says, well, I don't have much money, yada, yada, yada. And she gives him some money for a bus ticket. He goes out to California. And they meet him. And he signs a 2-year contract for modeling. And to this day, this story, takes place, roughly, 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
To this day, he's making roughly $300,000 a year as a model. And he's been doing it ever since that day he walked in that Subway with $10 to his name.
That's wild.
And again, the question all the time is, well, what if it goes wrong? But what if it goes right? And that's the thing that has to be said. Before we continue, there is a question that I know everyone's going to hate me for not asking. What position did you play?
I played DB, so I played corner. I started at corner my sophomore year, and then the last 2 years, when the coaching staff changed, I moved to safety and started there for the next 2 years.
Was that, I don't want to dive too much into it, but was that a big difference, going from a corner to a safety?
Yeah, the angle of tackling is way different, and that's what, honestly, I'll be straight out honest, that's what a couple of scouts told me. That was like, you played out of position. You wasn't a safety. You was a nickelback. Did
you want to go there, or was that just something that they advised of you?
They advised. So, you got to do what the coach say.
100%.
You got to do what the coach say. I'm a leader. I knew the defense. And so they was like, hey, we want to try you as safety. And I didn't start probably the first 2 or 3 games, and then I got the defense down and started the rest of the season. And I didn't do bad. I was all Big 12 my senior year, but it was like the angles of the tackling, it was tough.
It was a different game.
Yeah, it's different. You got that sideline when you're at corner, and I can run. That's easy.
Yeah, but that corner, the safety is open field.
Yeah, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie, it was tough. But I got a hang of it because we practiced tackling drills every day. It was just it was my 2017 year when we went 1-11. It hurt me. Yeah, it straight hurt me, and I excelled my senior year, but it is what it is. As a former college athlete, in that transition, you think about it every day. Mm-hmm. You think about it like, and you can either go left or you can either go right, like you said. And I've got to the point mentally where it's like it is what it is. It's like if you harp on something too long, then you're gonna go down the wrong path.
100%.
So
100%, because you can't go back and change it.
You can't. You just gotta live with it.
It is what it is, you know. And as so many people give people a bad rap for utilizing that term, that exact term. It is what it is. I hear so much negative Nancy about it. Oh, here's the reality. Take away the negative notion of when people say that. Take away the fact that when they say it, most times they say it very monotone and very emotionless.
Right.
But the cold reality is there's a lot of complexity in that statement. It is what it is. When I say those few words, I'm telling you that I have processed what happened. Mm-hmm. I've accepted it. I've moved on. And I understand that I can't change it. There's a lot of complexity to just understanding. You can't go back in time and go, man, I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have changed position. You can't. We're here now. We don't have time machines.
I'm not gonna do nothing for you.
It's not. It's gonna stress you out. But the thing is, a lot of people in life, they get stuck in that, well, what if? Mm-hmm. I know so many people that are still in that what if. They're still in that, oh, it's not fair. I wasn't given these opportunities, and I wasn't dealt these cards, and you had it better than me, and this is not fair. But at the end of the day, you can't change it.
Right.
Hey, do I wish that I grew up as a kid with millions and I learned the stock market at 14 years old? Yeah, but I didn't.
Right.
I wish I grew up and my parents taught me about financial wealth and stability. I wish I didn't turn 18 and my credit was already jacked. But it is what it is, and at the same time, when you accept that, it's like, okay, what can I do about it now? And with that being said, now I want to dive into now. You gave us a little bit of the background behind, hey, coming out of college, things didn't work out. I'm down on my luck. I stuck my neck out. I put my pride to the side, stuck it in the back seat. I went and spoke to people, got opportunities. Now I'm on the restart. How's your brand birthed? VVS, you obviously talked about in the Walmart, you got the logo. Mm-hmm. But well before the logo, what was the heart behind it? What was your reasoning? Where did it come from?
Okay, so it's kind of two main things behind VVS. And so first,
and give us the understanding of what VVS stands for.
It's Verkedric Vaughns Synergy, but it's more than that. It's more than just my name. I attached my name because I wanted the word VVS. I wanted the word synergy in there. And so, as you can, if you don't know, the VVS diamond cannot be detected by the human eye. You have to use a magnifying glass a magnifying glass to see if it's real or not. And so, I refer that to as, when you wearing the brand, no one can determine who you are. No human can determine who you are. And so, and that's what I live by. Is like, it's just you and God. You in control of what you do. Mm-hmm. And so, and the word synergy comes from is a bunch of energy, because we're energy beings and we feed off each other. And so basically, synergy combines purposeful service to heal the earth, and it reward us going to a common goal. Yeah. So that's what it stands for. It's more than just my name and with the word synergy. That's why I say VVS, or I say my website is called VV Synergy. I didn't put Verkedric Vaughns Synergy because it's not about me. Yeah. It just so happened to have 2 V's in my name. Yeah.
I'm with you. I get it. I get it.
So that's the meaning, and it's just more than my name, and I want to get people to understand that and have some pride when they wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I noticed, when you first rolled out your apparel, man, you were getting a ton of support.
Yeah, I was.
How did that feel?
It was good. It was good to know that, I had people from Baylor still supporting me. This was a year and a half, almost 2 years outside of school, you know? Yeah. And I had, people buying. I got people from the city. They wanted to buy. I still have the negative remarks like, man, I'm not wearing his name. His name is in a logo and all of that. But, the people that stuck with it and supported it, they want more. Yeah. And so now I'm in the transition of getting getting different collections and styles of my logo. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm currently doing right now for the brand.
100%. And I think that's a huge testament to exactly what you talked about. When you were in college, you said, hey, listen, I was big on relationships. Mm-hmm. When you met people and you left impacts on them. So when you had the opportunity to start your own brand. They believed in you. They supported you. They showed that, both emotionally but also financially. Said, hey, we got you, and we believe in you.
Right.
How does that feel? How does it feel to have that?
It feels amazing because you always have to. One thing I didn't mention before is that you have to protect your brand at all costs. And protecting your brand is your image, how you carry yourself, and how you speak to people. And those things is big. And so that's what I've been doing. And when I was able to create an actual physical brand, because your brand is who you are.
100%.
Honestly, it's who you are. You just attach a name to who you are. And so, and people will support that. And so it feels good to take that leap of faith, and I'm still at it.
Yeah.
Because it's a very I ain't gonna lie, it's a very competitive industry, and so it's tough. But if you got that core support system, what's next? When you coming out with this? When you coming out with this? I'm like, okay, I gotta get ready. Hold on, just give me a little time.
Yeah. No, it is. It's huge. It's a different industry. I mean, there's so much, and the thing is, everyone has their brand that they're trying to push. But the thing that I love that you said is what I don't think a lot of people understand. Even if you haven't created a logo or haven't made a website or you haven't, started selling merchandise, everyone has a brand.
All right.
Every single person, whether you like it or not, you have a brand, and it has a reputation. It may not have a Google website or a BBB accreditation, but you have a reputation. If you think of people in your life right now, just think of their names. There's memories and there's a consensus that comes to mind. If I started rattling off people innately your mind is going to think good, bad, great. Did I learn? Did they hurt me? Were they negative? Were they a cancer? All that stuff processes. And the problem is, if you don't understand, if you're walking this earth right now, if you're watching this and you don't understand that you have a brand, you're probably tainting it.
Yeah.
It's very likely you're tainting it. I brought on a guy recently, and he's still learning. He's a young guy, so I don't hold him, accountable for it, although I hold him responsible. And we're out working, we're door knocking, and he's not conscious that he's wearing his own brand. Mm-hmm. Even though he's wearing our logo, he's wearing his own brand. So some people are not giving him great remarks, and he's responding negatively. He's like, man, screw you.
Right.
You're tainting your brand. You're tainting who you are. You're tainting your name. Not only to that person you're speaking to, but every single person who comes around you.
Right.
Every person who gets the opportunity to encounter you. You're leaving a name for yourself. And every time you meet someone, you, me, anyone, you meet someone, they're getting an identity to your brand.
Right away.
They're going, I like that guy. That guy's got something. Or they're going, I don't know about him. Mm-hmm. I don't know about him. And that then comes into consideration when opportunities arise.
Yep.
And and I'm a firm believer of that, and I'm sure you've had great testaments to it. If you leave a great impact on people, you've shown a great brand of yourself. Something comes up and they go, you know what? I got a guy. I'm gonna make a quick call. I think I got the perfect person for this opportunity.
Right.
And all of a sudden, a seed you planted a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago. You're talking about people who are supporting your current physical brand from back when you were playing ball in Baylor. Right. And some of these people were probably early in your college, life. And they're like, I remember that guy, right. and he had something. I like him. I want to support him. I'm going to buy his stuff. And I'll tell everyone. I remember when you first rolled it out and you were selling merch. It wasn't just that they were buying. I remember some of the things that they were posting. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Man, I can't wait to wear this, man. My brother's got this," and they were. I mean, it was real. It wasn't just, "Oh yeah, here, let me buy a hoodie." Right. I know a lot of people like that. They're just like, whatever, give me whatever, just so they can look like they're helping. These people were like, "Man, I'm about it." They were out wearing it in public, posting it. They were out, doing Instagram reels. I mean, they were on it, man. Right. And a lot of people don't experience that, man. I know plenty of people who've rolled out, merchandise, and they don't get much love. And to be honest, they fade off and they pretend like they never did it.
Right.
You got fast traction. And secondly, I just want to say this real quick. Your stuff is awesome. It's not like
appreciate you.
I got a buddy who rolled out a brand and he started making merchandise, and I was kind of like, I don't know about all that, man. I would, I like you, but I wouldn't rock that.
Right.
Your stuff is nice.
Yeah.
Your stuff is big time, and you had that level of support. That's got to feel, it's got to feel motivating that you're on the right path, huh?
Yeah, it is. It just gives me more drive to be more be consistent, and not give up. Because you have everything is a high and low. You got to have a balance. So you can't get too high, you can't get too low. And it's like at that point, I was on a real high. It was like, okay, my number one product was the white puffer jackets.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's calling me. I'm like, bro, they're sold out. I already sold 30 of them. They're sold out. Like I gotta wait till they get some more in. My supplier, I gotta wait till they get some more in. And so it was to the point where it was like, okay, just wait. And I remember when I went to Germany to play for a little bit, a lot of people wanted some. I refunded their money. I could have easily took off with their money.
Yeah.
But I refunded like $1,300 or $1,400 back to clients because I was in another country.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And that's one thing where I'm learning now that you need a team. You need a team if you want to do something. Mm-hmm. And so I started it. With my girl, with my logo, and I actually had someone help me with my website that I met. And, that was forming my team, but it really wasn't. But now I really know that to succeed with this, you really need a unit. You need a unit, and that's what I'm doing right now, and so I can get everything out faster. Because I was doing all the packages and all the sending. I was doing that by myself.
Yeah,
like literally by myself. I was at UPS every day. I had a UPS guy that was helping me, and I was sending them out every day.
And now you're realizing you need a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and I'll admit, man, I learned that the hard way. Truthfully, I think when you come up through adversity, I'm not going to say bad circumstances. I'm not going to say it was bad. Just adversity. Right. If you come up through adversity, there's this survival mode that switches, and it goes into I've got to make it.
Right.
And I don't know if you're going to help me or hurt me, so I'm gonna block you out because I got to make it. And I'm not saying it's the right way to do things, but it happens.
Right.
And it surely happened to me. And it wasn't until, similar maybe to you, it wasn't until you arrive at a specific point of success where you go, oh, this isn't going to work anymore. Mm-hmm. It's not that, listen, that solo dolo, I'm going to make it all happen alone, it works. It gets you out of that hole. But there's a plateau.
Right.
And that plateau for most people in life is high enough to accept it. Plenty of people get to that plateau and they look around and they go, oh, I'm cool here. I'm going to go ahead and make a camp right here, and I'm going to stay here. I think for you and for me, it was like, how do I get above this?
Right.
I don't want to stay here. Not that this isn't pretty, but I want to go higher. Mm-hmm. And I think there was a realization of, okay, I'm not going to be able to continue at this level and then prosper to a higher level alone. I have to develop a unit and a team. And not a lot of people realize that until it's too late or until it genuinely affects them.
Right.
And I can attest, I didn't learn that lesson until I hit that ceiling and I was like, oh, I can't go any higher. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm spread too thin. I'm doing too much. I need help. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like a foresight. It was like, I'm here now. I need help now.
Yeah.
I need help. I can't do this anymore. So I learned that lesson the hard way. And a lot of people, unfortunately, will have to learn that lesson the hard way unless they seek enough knowledge to where people can tell them that. But it happens quick. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Get overwhelming.
And the problem with most alpha males, most driven, competitive people, we have a really tough time admitting when we're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're saying you're not good enough.
Right.
And it isn't until you can adapt a level of humility where you can actually say the words, I'm not good enough.
Man, no one's perfect. No, you can't do everything right.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that, I actually realized that I think it was my senior year. I realized that, because you can't be right at everything. You can do your best. I read a book called Four Agreements by Don Miguel, and the last chapter was always do your best, and that's when I learned okay, if I do my best, I can't judge myself. I can't judge myself when you do your best because it's like you laid it all out on the line, and so with the going back to the brand, it's like I did everything I could do. I don't know what else to do, so I gotta go. I needed more help.
You need help.
I need help.
Yeah.
So,
but most people they struggle, and I'm saying this from personal experience. They struggle. We struggle to have to accept that. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not and again, once you have accepted and processed that, once you've gotten past it, which you and I both are, well, then you look back in hindsight and you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Like, it's okay. It's okay to need help. But when you're in that, oh, it's not easy to accept. It's like, no, I got this. I can do it. I can do it.
Right.
And you got people like, hey, are you good? You need help? And you're like, no, I got this.
Right.
Because you don't want to have to process that. But the thing is, once you do, it's like, why was I doing that?
Right.
Why?
Right.
You have this real big sigh of relief, and you're like, why was I trying to do that by myself? Like, these people want to help me.
Right.
And it's okay to get help. But when you're in that, it doesn't feel like that.
Right.
It feels like you need to figure it out. And I do believe a lot of your upbringing through adversity, through struggle, through coming out of things, people who've had great, easygoing lives, everything was very simple, that lesson was probably taught at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
For some of us who had to climb and they had to scratch and claw and they had to figure it out, well, part of figuring it out is going, I've got to figure it out. I have to rely on me. And as circumstantially good or bad as it may be, it's just the reality. There are a lot of things that you probably had to go through that no one was there for you. No one helped you. You already shared a little bit of light that there are things that you didn't even tell your dad. You didn't even tell your pops.
Yeah.
And that situation, I've learned the lesson. God has shown me the lesson. That's pride. Mm-hmm. It was all pride. When I look back at those times where I was reluctant to ask for help, I remember there was a time in my life when I was younger where I had a couple jobs. I was trying to make ends meet, and I didn't have a car, and I was walking to and from work. And people used to say, hey, Kev, I can give you a ride. And I'd be like, no, it's all good. It's all good. I like walking. Man, I do not like walking. I don't like walking to work. But it was like, I wanted you to know, or I wanted you to think, I have this handled.
Right.
When in the cold reality, I didn't.
Right.
Looking back as a much more mature and much more, godly man, please, I would really appreciate that ride. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. But at the time, it's like, I got this. No. Like, I love walking. Gives me time to think. You make up whatever you can to make it make sense. And those are lessons that I learned the hard way. I learned through trial and error. I learned through God, showing me these things.
Right.
Him molding me to be who He wanted me to become. And we all learn them in different ways. We all learn them in different facets. And it just seems like, commonly to me, we learned that because we reached a level where it was like, this isn't going to work anymore.
Right.
So what I want to talk about, from that, you've obviously established your brand, you've built it, you've got, you got your logo, you've got people that are supporting you, you've got people that believe in you. Talk to me about where the origin of the day trading began. Talk to me about how that became a part of your life, where you learned that, and then now you obviously are a coach. In that you have classes, you have mentor or mentees that you talk to. Where did that begin? How did you get into that realm?
So it was the same thing. I was at that same hotel. And one of my best friends named Raja Preciado, he introduced me to Forex. And so, he introduced me to it more because I knew about it. I knew about it my senior year. I knew about it a year after, but I actually really thought it was a scam. You know how everybody say, I thought it was a scam.
100%.
I thought it was a scam. And so I'm like, okay.
I'm ready to learn because I still think it's a scam. No, so you about to teach me.
Trust me. And so I was like, this was it's 3 years now that I've been just serious about it. And so this was back in 2019. And, he was like, yo, you got to do this, It's not a scam. Sign up for this.
So hold on. At that time, is this a guy that you know and trust, or is this a new guy in your life?
This is my guy. Like, this is my.
When he's bringing this up to you guys are already.
We eye to eye.
Okay.
He's not gonna leave me no BS.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
And so he was like, "Have you heard about trading?" I was like, "Yeah, man, but that stuff is scam." He like, "No, it's not. Look." And so he showed me that he made money, and I was like, "No way." He was like, "Do this." And I downloaded all the apps, the MetaTrader 4 app, and he was like, do US 30, Dow Jones. And so I'm like, that's a big pair, but, at the time, I think I put in like $200, and you can only open one position with that spread. And so I did it, and I made $100 in like 20 seconds.
Okay, hang on, time out. Because a lot of what you just said is going to go over a lot of people's head. And these people want to learn from you. These people want to learn from you because you're doing this. So you go to the guy. This is a guy that you know and you trust. So when he tells you do this, you're not doing it because you believe in what he's saying. You're doing it because you believe in him.
Yeah.
Okay. So he tells you to download these apps. These are apps that he's already using, right?
Yes.
How many apps we talking? 4, 5, 6 apps? One app, two apps?
Just MetaTrader app. You got to have a broker's account, and then the app is MetaTrader. Typically, it's a trading platform.
So so it's a platform. Okay. So he has you download this app,
From
and
your
then
phone.
and you're on your phone, and you're in front of him at this time, right?
Yeah.
You
We're
guys
in the hotel. He explaining everything to me.
Okay. So y'all are chilling. He's talking, and he goes download this app, and then he tells you put your money on this one trade, right?
Right.
And then you put 200, and then you make
$100.
right there.
Right there.
And then that's when you're like, oh, this is legit.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna.
In that very moment, you're like, I'm on.
Yes.
Okay.
That next day, I probably didn't go to sleep for because I worked at that time. I think I was working at Amazon. I think I took like 2 days off just to trade, and I was like, yo, I gotta do this. And I stayed up. I was losing. $5 here, $10 there, but I was also making money. And I'm like, yo, if I figure this out, if I figure this market out, this could change my life, like really.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a scam, but you really can make money. And then I started researching, like, okay, what exactly is Forex? Forex, foreign exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Different currencies around the world. That's what you're trading. And so the only thing you have to do is pay attention. Really, fundamental trading is paying attention to the news, and technical trading is supply and demand, or support and resistance, or following the trend. Marking up charts. That's technical trading. And so, I was paying attention. I started paying attention to the news and wondered, like, you see all the numbers and all the lines, and people get scared of that. I used to be scared of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what is this? And then when he told me about Forex, I'm like, oh, so those are numbers I see in the airport. Those are numbers I see on the bottom of the screen. I had no clue.
It was foreign.
It was foreign. Like when I peeked at it before, I still didn't know. I just knew that these guys were trying to get me to sign up for a company and try to make some money. Like I didn't know anything. And so when I got serious about it, I was like, yo, I see why it's everywhere. Because this is how you make money in your sleep. This is how you make money.
Yeah.
It ain't just stocks. It's foreign exchange. You can trade the Japanese dollar. You can trade the peso. You can trade Great Britain pound. You can trade Canada. You can do any currency that's on this planet. You can make money from it.
Okay. So let's say I'm someone, and let's just be candid. Let's say I'm someone and I'm watching this, and you're telling us about this, but I don't know jack about it.
Right.
And let's call a spade a spade. Let's say I'm one of those people who's like, I don't know anything about this and I don't believe it. Because I'll be candid, right? I remember when I first started to hear about Forex, and I was, again, I'm a stubborn guy. Mm-hmm. I'm very stubborn. I'm not going to lie about it. When I learn something, I learn it and then I'm good at it. But if I don't know it, I don't touch it.
Right.
I don't touch it because there's so much I do know that I'm like, I'd rather just be over here where I'm comfortable.
Right.
So I remember people were telling me about it, and they were like, what do you think, Kev? And I'm like, man, this is a scam. It's a scam.
Yeah.
I used to say that all the time. I used to be like, man, I remember when crypto was first a big deal, and I was like, it's a scam. It's a scam, bro, man. They're just trying to steal your money, man. Yeah. You're going to give your money to some dude. He can call you back in 2 months and tell you he lost your money, and then he going to go buy a Porsche. I used to think that. I was that dude, right? I watched Wolf of Wall Street. Come on now.
Right.
But then I started to see people making money, and now you're kind of like, how you make that money?
Right.
You're kind of like, well, hold on, slow down. Somebody's making some money.
Right.
So let's say I'm somebody, I'm watching this, and I don't know what's going on. I'm skeptical. I need a general synopsis of what is happening. We'll get into the details shortly, but just give me a general synopsis on how I can take my money. Let's say I got $1,000 of expendable money. Okay. Let's say I got paid, again, for those of you guys who value your dollar. I get that. I understand it. Let's say you make a $2,000 paycheck. Your bills amount to $600. So now you got $1,400 in overage of your bills. You take $400, you tuck it away for a rainy day. You utilize that for making, for survival. Use that for food. Use it for gas until your next payday. Right. Let's say you got $1,000 of expendable money. Give me a synopsis on what I can do with my $1,000 to try and make some money.
Okay, first thing, if you're new, you wouldn't put $1,000 in there at all.
It's too much?
It's too much. You're gonna lose regardless. You're gonna lose with that. You're gonna lose $1,000 within that first week. you're gonna lose that. I wouldn't. So with pairs, with the Japanese yen, with the UJ, like I said, USD, JPY. You got indices. You got commodities. That's gold. Indices is US 30 Wall Street. You got NAS 100. All of those spreads are high, are really high.
Okay.
And so if you log onto the app, you in all of these currencies, there's a spread. And so the higher the spread, this is what I teach my students. The higher the spread, the higher the bread. The lower the spread, the lower the bread.
The higher the spread, the higher the bread.
So what that means is, the higher the spread, the risk of you making money fast is it's like this, snap of the finger. Mm-hmm. But the lower the spread, you can actually hold, and the market won't move as fast. So if the spread is under 25, you can let $200 sit with Japanese yen, because the spread of Japanese yen is it don't go above 10.
Okay. So
that means if you pay attention to the Japan news and their market and what they're doing, and you go to the technical side and you go to, like, there's time frames. You got the 1 minute time frame, 5 minute, 10 minute. You got 15 minute, 30 minute time frame. Day chart. You got the hour chart. And so if you go to, let's say, the 1 hour chart, and you mark up and you find the supply and demand zones with $200
of the day, the time zones.
The time zone. No. The time zone of the chart.
Of the hour.
Yeah. And so you go onto your chart and you type in H1, push the H1 button, and if you can locate a supply and demand zone, you literally, I'm sorry, it's not that hard. Everybody know what the word common mean. And so if you see the market, say the market is right here.
Okay.
If you see it go up here, come back here, go down here, come back here, go down here, come back here. This is the demand zone.
Yeah.
You get what I'm? This is the demand zone.
That's the average.
That's the average. That's the average. And so trading term is the demand zone.
Okay.
And so if you know you can find that demand zone, once it hit down there and it's coming back up, you can go to that zone right there, enter your trade right there, and just let it sit. You just got to be patient and trust it.
Okay.
It's going to come back to that demand zone.
So to summarize that in simple terms, if you looked at a chart and you're able to just study it for a quick moment.
That's how I started.
You see that it's fluctuating, which all charts fluctuate. Right. All charts fluctuate. I've got money in Bitcoin. That thing been bouncing around this last 6 months. It used to be the most stable coin in the world. It's bouncing around.
Right.
I got money in Ethereum. You know, all these friggin' dudes keep telling me it's going to bounce. The crypto guy's going to be on a couple episodes, and I'm going to grill him.
Yeah.
But every chart bounces. So you're basically saying you find what common people would say the average, but you're calling it the mid zone.
The demand zone. Demand, supply and demand.
Oh, demand zone.
Yeah.
So the demand zone is essentially the average line of that chart.
Yes.
And you say just find it when it's below and buy. And then just wait for it to go up.
Yeah, and then one point that I didn't mention about Forex, that's why I like Forex, because you got Robinhood, you got Webull, you got all these different platforms, but you only can buy. With Forex, you know how people say buy the dip? When it dips, that's when they buy. But on Forex, you can go and buy the actual dip when it's going down and make money as well on the sell. And a lot of platforms, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why... that's what made me also get important with get serious about Forex.
So I'll be honest, until this episode, until us sitting down, I didn't know Forex stood for foreign exchange. All you guys can say I'm stupid, but I didn't know what that stood for.
It's the biggest market in the world. It makes $5 to $7 trillion a day.
Well, now I know.
The biggest hedge fund companies trade Forex. They don't trade stocks. They don't trade any of that. They trade Forex 24/5. 24 hours, 5 days a week. Those are the market days.
So let me ask you this. How long from infancy of understanding this, how long did it take to really learn this enough to make some money? And again, I understand the concept.
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Well, we always are, right?
To make money, I would say, it took me about to gain steady profits to my winning percentage to about 60%, 65%. It took me about a year and a half to actually like teach myself to be disciplined and not be greedy. If I make $100 in 10 minutes and this person over here don't make $100 an hour and they work for 8 hours, why wouldn't I take my $100?
Yeah.
And I made it in 10 minutes. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so once I was able to grasp that, that's when I started making really good money. So
it obviously took some time. So I assume in the interim of that, you took some losses, huh?
yeah, I took that first year. I was taking losses. Like I was broke. I was broke. Thank God that my coach gave me a job at West Mesquite High School, because if I didn't have that job while I was trading, I would have been broke. I had another paycheck coming in.
Yeah,
So I was taking a risk.
Yeah. So you're still learning the game. You're taking some losses. So that's why you said if you were new to the game, you wouldn't put 1,000 on it.
No, not at all. Because you're gonna lose it. You don't know anything about trading. You don't know anything, and so going in there is like you get the basics. You get these different groups tell you to join there, this and that, and they really don't teach you. But they teach you how to take a trade, open up a trade, and close a trade, but don't really teach you what to look at when you're trading. And so if you do that, you're going to lose. You always got to have somebody. You got to find that right mentor that'll really help you make money. So
that's the one thing I 100% know about the industry is there are a million, bajillion, trillion of these organizations that are designed similar to pyramid schemes.
Right.
And they're like, get under me, give me whatever, and then we're going to teach you the game. And then what I've been able to ascertain from the industry is that they don't really teach you anything other than they don't teach you what to do, what to look for, how to move. They just literally teach you the technical aspect of buying and getting out.
Right.
But there's nothing in between those two pieces of bread.
Right.
So many people they're stuck. They're like, well, what do I do? What do I do? Where do I put my money? And that's the big gap in the marketplace that people are. And I believe in my mind, that's what tainted the industry for everyone to think it was shady.
Yeah.
From all those bad guys. And here's the cold reality of business. I don't care what business you look at. I don't care what industry you look at. There are going to be bad eggs.
Yeah.
There are going to be a ton of bad eggs. Listen, we all know about car sales. Let's just be candid. There are amazing, incredible car salesmen out there. Mm-hmm. But the vast majority of the industry are what you think of when I just said the word car sales. Bad, lazy, very schemy, add a bunch of crap on that you don't need type of guys.
Right.
But there are good people in the industry. And those people are the ones that are going to take care of you, and they're going to be honest with you, and they're going to be open with you, and they're going to help you and give you the knowledge that you need.
Right.
So I just believe of most of the industries, unfortunately, with the up climb, anytime something is new and it breaks out fast, everyone and their grandma gets in and pretends that they're industry experts.
Right.
And they start making money, not by actually the money we can make together, but the money of you should just pay me so I can pretend I'm teaching you. And that's one of the reasons why I respectfully wanted to get you on the show is because I know you. Right. We've worked together and I have respect for you. So when you tell me, listen, I'm a coach and I teach people, I don't believe you're just out here taking money and saying good luck. You're helping them.
Right.
And I will use my platform and my voice to put my name on you because I believe that. And I do, and I know plenty of guys who do certain levels of coaching, and some of them I just don't trust that if I sent you my brother, which I don't have one, but let's say I had a brother, I sent you my brother, you're not going to just have him pay you for something, and then all of a sudden he calls me like, Kev, I've been here for 7 months and I still don't know jack.
Right. That's bad. And that's why I never once joined a platform for that reason.
That was my next question is when you got into it, and that was my question was, did you get into an organization? Did you have a mentor? Obviously you've given us a little bit of insight towards your buddy who helped you. Yeah. But when you got into it, how did you learn it?
I had a mentor. Her name was Charlene Robinson. I went to school with her. We would literally, like, I asked her, I said, yo, do you know about Forex? She was like, yes. I'm in a platform called, what was it? It was IML. And she she was teaching me. She was like, all right, I want to learn. She was like, well, sign up for this and sign up for that. I was like, I'm not signing up for that. But you can teach me, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not signing up for that because, well, I really appreciated her because when you're a teacher, you learn it as well. And so she was teaching me everything that she knew, inviting me to free Zoom calls and everything. And she actually was around good people. She got in a good group of guys and women that actually knew what they were talking about. And so what she would do is when she learned something, she would reteach it to me so she can learn it better.
So she could retain it better.
Yeah, so she can retain it better. And so I was her little study dummy for about 4 months. And then after that, you know, I took it away from there. We fell out, and you know, I took it in my hands, and I said, okay, I know enough to where I can start doing it. And I started doing it, being very, very profitable. Before I even started classes, before I even started any of that, I was making money. I was traveling.
You wanted to get track record success.
Right. And I started making real money. I was like, you know, coming from West Dallas, coming from Mesquite, I'm like, yo, I never saw this much money. So
yeah,
shoot, I went to Miami like back to back. I went to New York. I went to Arizona back to back. I went to Vegas.
Man.
I was like, shoot, I'm here. You know, I got my brand going. You know, I'm making money now. You know, so that's how I started. And you know, I look at it right now, and it's like, you know, what I could have done different, but it's like, I experienced that. Now I know I can do it again. Yeah. And I'm doing it. So it's like, and now I'm able to, you know, I'm thankful for those 10. I've taught up to like 45 people at one time.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a Zoom meeting. But there was about 10 to 15 that actually stayed. Because, you know, people are not going to be serious.
You get the dabblers.
Yeah, right. And there was a core 10 to 15. I'm very thankful for them. And they actually still with me today. And it's like they learn every time I learn something new. What I do, I go teach them.
At the same time.
Literally, I just go teach them so I can retain it better as well and make them a more profitable trader. Yeah.
You know, one of the things I absolutely appreciate that you said, and it's the heart of why we're on this show and why this podcast exists, is just the ability to say out loud, I'm still learning. You know, people, man, and I don't mean this in a negative connotation, but just in the world that I live in, I know so many people who are business owners and they're entrepreneurs and they've had a level of success and they've got the nice car that they want or they've got the nice house and they're married. And the envisionment of what they wanted to attain in life has happened.
Right.
So they naturally go, I have figured it out. And their swagger, their demeanor is like that. I know so many people, and I'm just like, dude, you don't have all the answers, but they move like they have all the answers.
Right.
And I absolutely am in love when I see people who are like, I'm still figuring this out, man. I'm still learning this. I am open. Not only am I open about it, I've named the entire show that I'm still learning, man.
Right.
I'm still learning. I'm candid about it. I don't know jack about Forex. I've put some time into the crypto game. I put some time into the stock game. I've learned these things. I've learned how to chart. I've learned how to read these things. But this is not my profession.
Right.
I don't do this every day. I don't do this on a daily basis. Right. I haven't put in these effort hours. I haven't been on Zoom calls regarding these things. I don't know nearly what you know in your mind. So let's say I was someone who was not in the position I wanted to be in life. I had a job, and I know this isn't my end game, and I'm just looking for that next step. Mm-hmm. Where do I need to begin? How much money? Like you're saying 1,000 was too much because you're going to lose it. Right. And I respect that. I appreciate that because most people who have malice intentions, they're going to be like, yeah, that's enough. Give me that. You know? So I respect you being candid, and I think a lot of people are going to learn from this. Let's say I wanted to learn this game. And listen, I want to first acknowledge to everyone, I have friends, again, even in the interim of me thinking this was a scam, I have friends who hit me up and they're like, Kev, dude, I've made so much money off Forex and it's changed my life. I have a friend, her name is Jordan from Houston, and she's like, this has changed my life. Like my whole life has changed. And I'll be honest, I responded, I was like, that's a scam. But she's like, it's changed my life. So I don't, it's just my ignorance. And I'll be candid about that. It's my ignorance. Let's say I wanted to get into this. How much money do I need? How much time do I need? there are a lot of conceptions that I don't know if they're true or not.
Okay.
People tell me you got to be up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Are these real? Is this true?
Depends on what time frame you want to time zone you want to trade in. So you got the Asian market.
Give me my whole starter list. How much money do I need? How much time do I have to allocate? How much am I going to have to expect that it's going to take for me to learn this? What time do I got to be up?
Okay.
What time do I got to go to sleep?
So
just give me a starter list.
I break it down to how I run my course. And so what I do is I start them with open up demos account. That's the first thing I do.
Okay.
And why I do that? Because I did it. I opened up a demo account. The first time I actually opened up a real account because I want to make money.
What is a demo account?
Demo account is basically the broker gives you fake money. It gives you money, and the market prices are still the same.
So it's almost as if it was real, but the wins are not real and the losses are not real.
They're not. You can't withdraw the money.
So if somebody called you tomorrow and said, "V, I want to open a demo account," they could literally give it a shot for no risk.
Yeah.
But if they win, they don't get to make the money.
No.
But they could literally go, "I want to give it a shot. I want to try and learn it," and they could open a demo account and just see how it goes.
Okay, put it like this. What do you do if you want to get better at football?
You practice.
So what is a demo account?
But hang on. I'm with you. I agree with you. I think it's an awesome thing. But how many industries really have that? How many things in the world do you really get the opportunity to give it a shot? Because here's the honest truth. If I wanted to get good at football and you and I went to the football field and started practicing, that ain't fake, man. I'm tired. I'm sore. That's real.
I get that. But the moral story what I'm trying to get at is the more you do something, you're going to
get better at it. I get that. But I didn't know that was even possible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
To understand that I could get into this with no risk. Obviously, you got to understand you're signing up for no reward,
right.
But no risk just to see if it's real or not. I'm getting a trial. I'm getting a free trial. I'm getting a guest pass.
So what I do is that when they prove to me that they can flip demos accounts, because it's all mine, you got to see yourself lose. So there's about 7 rules that I live by as far as trading, and one of those is know how to be a loser. Okay. And so if you know how to be a loser, you're disciplined. You're like, okay, today my drawdown is only 15% of my account. So if you put in $1,000, what's that? $250, and so that's going to be my limit. If I lose $250 today, I'm done trading for the day.
So you're asking all of your students to have that number in their head.
Yes.
What are you willing to take a loss on?
Yes. And so that's how you start, because you're going to lose regardless when you start. Mm-hmm. And so you practice that.
You're losing because of what? Lack of experience, lack of knowledge?
Lack of experience. And so simply by that, you're going to over leverage. You got lot sizes. You got to know the whole terminology. But I put them out there in the water at first just to see how quick they can.
So how much success in a demo do I need to have for you as my mentor to feel comfortable that I can now put some money into this?
You have to flip. So it's tough. It's tough because they don't. I didn't release my first 2 students till about 3 months because they wasn't flipping the demo accounts like I wanted them to, and so they started off with a $500 demo account, a $200 demo account, 2 $500s, 1,000. And I think one or two $100 demos account. And if you can flip $100 to $200, you're catching on really good.
So now you're comfortable with it.
If you can flip that 3 times, $100 just to $200 or $100 to $500, you can trade.
And you're doing this. You've got these rules and parameters and how you're operating to protect them.
Yes.
It's all to protect them and to protect their money.
Yes. So I won't throw them out there in the field and say, hey, put your money in, you ready for a live account. No, you got to prove to me that you can really trade. And we live trade on our Zooms together. We'll wake up, like I said, there are different time zones. I want to get back to that. There's the Asian market, there's the London market, and then there's the New York market. Okay. And so the Asian is from about 7 p.m. to about 4 a.m. and then 3 a.m. the London market to about 10 a.m. and then you got the 9 to 5 for the U.S. market. And so I used to get up with them sometimes at 3 or we'll trade in the Asian market because the Asian market is slower. You can hold your trades, but I'll send a signal out every now and again during during the U.S. market because, that's obviously I like to trade indices, and I teach them how to trade indices. So that's NASDAQ, and Dow Jones, and those are US 30. Those are the stocks that I like. I mean the pairs that I like to trade. And so, with that being said, I will send a signal out for them, but that's only on their $5,000 demo account because, like I said earlier, higher the spread, higher the bread, lower the spread, lower the bread. And so, with that being said, I saw my clients flip a $1,000 account to $2,000 using those indices because their spread was high. But I want to see if they can flip a low account before they can even move on to, getting in the live trade.
So let's say I get into it, and I'm with you, and I'm working with you, and I'm doing these demos, and you're like, this is what I want to see from you, and I do these things. How do I know when I'm ready? And do I know? Or are you going to tell me? I mean, are you going to advise me, or am I going to be able to be like, oh, I got this, V?
When you're okay, when you're disciplined, and your profit is way more than your drawdown is your losses. And so if you make way more money than you lose, you're a profitable trader. You know what I'm saying? You're a profitable trader.
And then you're going to be like, Kev, you're ready.
Yeah, you're ready. You're ready. So let's go. Now I'm going to teach you how to open. I don't even teach them how to open up a live account until the third month.
It's a different process.
Yeah, I don't even teach you. So if you're new, you don't know. You don't know. So you can tell them, hey, this is what you go to open up a demo account. Because it'll say demo on your broker, whatever broker you use. And so with that being said, there's three to five different options to open up a live account. But you don't know which one to open up. Because
so you're intentionally not even teaching them how to do it. Because you don't even want them to burn themselves.
No,
and there are people who would burn themselves. They would open a live account without telling you just to be able to come back and go, oh, I did it, but then they lose their money and then there's bad.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not finna put y'all in the water like that.
But you're doing all of that because you genuinely care.
Yeah,
you genuinely give a crap, for lack of better words.
Right.
Okay, so with that being said, right, let's say, because I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying about the different types of foreign exchanges and the time zones of when they operate. Because let's be honest, when you talk about foreign exchange, you need the stock market or the market of that to be open, right? And we're in the U.S., we work off U.S. time. We work off the New York stock market, and that's typically how it works. But when you're talking about dealing with, as you're speaking, the Asian market or these other foreign markets, you're playing their time game. Well, what if I have a job?
Right.
What if I have a full-time job? What if, just for a hypothetical scenario, what if I work at AT&T and AT&T has me working from 10 to 7? I work an 8-hour shift with a 1-hour lunch break. Yeah. Is it possible? Can I still do it?
Yeah, it's very possible. You just have to learn how to trade. You got to learn the Japanese market, the different pairs, GBP, JPY. You got to just, all you have to do is pay attention to the news, honestly. Pay attention to the news, Bloomberg, what's going on that side in that economic system. And so if you can find out what's going on as far as import and export, because import and exports really control the market, like who the consumers and who's bringing in. And so with that being said, it's like if you know that a certain market is exporting an X number of goods, and they say for example, if China is giving America say we want 500,000 cars this month. Well, and they only give you 200,000 cars this month. But where's the rest of the 3? You get what I'm saying? And so the U.S. dollar is going to drop. Why? Because they didn't meet the need. They didn't meet it. So if you go into the market and you pay attention to the news and they didn't meet where they were supposed to go, then that means that currency pair, that Pacific currency pair, is going to go down regardless. And
but the thing is, the concept of what you must study in order to understand the market and understand the trends, those are things that are not easy to ascertain if I'm not in the industry.
It's not.
How do I even know what to look at? Are you gonna?
You literally have to find the right person that'll tell you.
That's gonna teach you.
That's gonna teach you. You really got to find that. Or you can watch YouTube videos. I watch YouTube videos all the time. But you really have to have that one person that
who's going to even teach you what to look at.
They're going to teach you what to.
Because otherwise, you're just looking around and you don't know what to do.
You're just looking around. Literally, if you don't understand how the economic system works, you really taking an L. You know, if you really don't.
You're throwing money blind and hoping.
If you don't understand fundamental trading, like it goes hand in hand. Technical trading, it goes hand in hand because you can find the supply and demand zone, but if Elon Musk go in and say, hey, I'm doing this and it's a positive thing for the economy, you think it's going to stay at that demand or supply zone? No, it's going to break both of them and go up. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And so you just got to pay attention to
So you got to be in tune with what's going on.
You just got to be in tune.
So you in particular, you in particular, because to me it sounds like you have to have accessible knowledge to current happenings. What are again, and obviously getting into the industry, there's a lot of unknown that you're going to have. And what I'm really gathering, and I'm speaking this humbly as a student, you need to know someone who's going to help you. This ain't something you could just figure out by yourself. Nah, because you even said it yourself. It took you a year to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah, it took me a year to get better at it. I ain't figure it out now. But the core basics of trading, it took me a year to.
And you also had someone who was learning and teaching you simultaneously. So trying to just wing it, because here's the thing that I've noticed: a lot of the skeptical people who talk crazy, I ask them when they start talking crazy, because I've said it before and I'll say it now. I'll be like, it's a scam. But when they start talking crazy, I'm like, who you working with? And they're like, I ain't working with nobody. Well, that's probably why they're struggling, right?
Yes.
And that is different, right? Because we talk about all these markets. We talk about the stock market. We talk about the crypto market. We talk about the foreign exchange market, which I'm now figuring out is Forex. I always knew about the foreign exchange. I know that was a Forex. So we talk about these things, but there are certain ones where you don't have to have much knowledge. Like, I got into crypto early on after I realized it wasn't a scam. After the cold reality, and I'll be honest, when I saw other boys making money, I was like, okay, I'm about to make some money too. So I got into it. But there ain't much to learn. You know, you're buying and you're just hoping, in my opinion. But the thing is, I'm not playing the quick trade. I know a lot of guys that play quick trade. My mentor talks to me all the time about trying to play quick trade. He'll buy something at a low point, sell it a few days later. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing that. I'm just buying something that I have full certainty a year from now is going to have higher worth. And that's what I personally do. I'm not saying that's the way you should do it, but I have expendable income that I could literally let sit for a long time. True story. I'm just giving honest advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not what I do for a living. You guys all know this. But I put like $35,000 on CRO. Okay. CRO. It's the Crypto.com coin. Yep. And I did that when it was at about 27 cents. Right? Y'all know. And it was right before the Staples Center turned into Crypto.com Arena. You know, I've got it on my board, my live board, but I know for a fact it's well over that. Yeah. But I'm holding and holding and holding, and I really don't care. I don't care if it takes it 10 years, 20 years, 10 years. I don't care. Until that boy hits about $5, I'm just holding on. Yeah. But I'm blessed enough to know that 30 grand, it doesn't exist in my mind. It's gone. I have... one of the best advice that I got when I started getting into trading, regardless of your level of trading, and maybe you can attest to this with day trading, the money that you put into it, you have to be willing for it to disappear. Right. You can't go, I'm going to put my next month rent on this and hopefully make a return. The money that you put in the game, whether it's the crypto game, the stock game, the day trading game, I don't care what you put it in. You can put it in the real estate game. You have to be really comfortable with the understanding. I'm not saying it will happen, but be comfortable with the idea that money will never come back to you ever again.
You got to condition your mind. And that's what I teach my students. Like, you got to condition your mind with the losses. Like, you got to, if you trading with $1,000 account and they go down to negative $100,
you can go negative.
Yeah. So. So
wait, hold up. Listen, if you put your money in crypto or stocks and it goes to zero, it's zero. You're done. You can go negative.
You can. You gotta set a stop loss. You gotta have a risk and reward, like you said.
Wait. Hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. If it goes negative, I got to give them more money?
No, you don't have to give them nothing.
I'm just zeroed out.
No, you're not zeroed out. It's just floating. It's floating currency. And so if the market goes, say you put in at a price of, say you're So NAS 100, that's an indice that I love for the trade. And so NAS 100 is about, I can look at it right now. Let's see. NAS 100 is at 1554. 1554. And so right now, if you put it at 1554 and it goes down to 1534, you're going to be negative. But
loss, yeah.
You didn't lose it. It's just negative floating money.
Yeah.
It's just negative. Yeah. And so if you look at your supply and demand zone or support and resistance or however you want to trade, which I actually have a software to tell you when to buy and sell. Okay. So it makes it really easy for my students as well, but you still have to know how to trade.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, it's like you can still have floating money, but if you know it's going to go up to your take profit level or that supply zone or the support level, you just hold it. Be patient. Be patient.
And just hang on.
It's the same thing.
So one of the best advices and definite understandings that I got when I got into trading was understanding that you have not taken a loss until you sell. If I buy something, let's use easy terminology for understanding. If I buy something at $10 and it drops to $8, I've not taken a loss. I only lose when I get out.
Yeah.
Because for all I know, if I hang tight, it may go to 11 and I didn't lose.
Right.
So when you see it go below what you got in at, you didn't technically lose. It's just below what you bought in at. Right. You don't lose until you pull.
So the difference between these platforms like Robinhood or let's say what else? Or crypto.com. The difference between these platforms and Forex is first hand. You see everything. So, if you put in like you said, if you put in $10 and it goes down to $8, well, here, it's the same thing. You just seeing the process of it moving. You're seeing everything that's happening within your money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With these other apps, you get a percentage, you get a percentage of what you're losing right now, and you'll see your money go from $10 to $8. But with Forex, it's like you said, it's sell. If you wanted to get in on, you got a position that's at $10, and you see that it's going down, you can get in that sell as well and even out your money
at that low.
Literally, so if you up $10 and it's going down, you can get in the sell, and literally it goes like this. You just
balances out.
It balances out.
So let's say
you just gotta know how to play the game with it.
You gotta know the experience. So let's say I'm no one's.
Hold on. I wouldn't encourage nobody to do that. I personally don't ever sell and buy at the same time. Never. I don't do that. But if I was in a jam, I know how to get out of it. You get what I'm saying?
So let's say I wanted to get into it, right? I'm not the most experienced. I'm still learning it, or maybe I'm brand new, but I've heard it and I see people making money. Because here's the thing. When it was all new, it was very scam-like.
Right.
But now the dust has settled. Like, let's be honest. When I was talking about I don't believe in it, this was a year ago, in the mix of COVID, and it did seem very pyramid scheming.
Right.
But now the dust has settled. Now all the dabblers have left. And the guys who are still in the industry are making money. They're making real money. This is real money. Yeah. I just like he talked about earlier in the show. I seen him in Miami and Vegas. I seen the man in the 90th floor of a hotel.
Man,
I remember one. I don't remember when it was, but I remember we had a story one time about a tripod that he was having a good old time showing his view and everything. So
I didn't know it was Colombia.
Look, man had some fun. So I know that guys are making money. If you're telling me, and I respect it, you're telling me $1,000 is too much, you're gonna lose it.
If you want, look. If you want to learn how to trade, now if you want somebody to trade for you, which I also do that. I mean, that's what a lot of people do.
But you're not going to get the yield that you would if you did it yourself.
If you do it yourself and you learn it yourself, you will never have. That's why, honestly, I got into it as well too, because when I turn a certain age, I really do not want to work for anyone.
Physically work.
Physically, I don't want to work for for anybody, and so I will service people. There's a difference. Service, servicing is, you want to do that, but actually working for somebody is like, it's a whole, you like, man, I don't want to do this.
And that's the end game. Because there's plenty. Here's the thing, right? I'm in a couple groups and classes, and they talk about it all the time. Keep the end in mind. Keep the end in mind. Allow that to be a drive for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I respect that. What's your end game? And your end game is, hey, listen, I don't want to work for someone, but hey, I got no problem being retired, living in a nice house. And when I wake up, I do my day trading, and then I go spend time with my family. I go to brunch, and I go to have a nice steak dinner. So you want to develop those skill sets. Right. You want to be able to do it yourself. But what if I was someone personally, and I'm out there? What if I didn't want to do it? Which again, do you recommend you learn the skill, or can I just give my money to someone and, hey, make my money, make money?
Okay, you can also, what you can do is, if you don't want to just learn it like they do in these groups, you can just learn how the basics of opening a position and closing the position, and they will send you a signal. And it's up to you when you get in there. So if their ratio is, their rented percentage is 70 to 80%, that's pretty good. And so you will get in that trade and get out. But
and they'll kind of inform you. They're
literally, the senior text me and say, okay, it's at 15. Is that 15?
I've noticed a lot of these guys are in like group chats, right?
Right.
And it's like 20, 30 deep in the group chat. So it's their trading group.
Yeah, it's just their
so
trading
it's the
group.
Mentor and then all his mentees.
Right.
And he's kind of going, hey, get in here,
this trade.
Get out now.
Just take profit level, set your stop loss at this, and then get in the trade. I mean, you'll make money.
So even if I didn't want to learn the game, but I just wanted to be a part of, let's speak spade to spade. Let's just be honest.
Right.
I don't want to learn the game. I just want to ride the wave of making the money.
Yeah.
I could go, hey, you know what? I'm just going to get in on this.
You can pay for signals.
I'm gonna be a part of this group and get the signals. He tells me when to buy in. He tells me when to get out. I don't know jack about what's going on, but I'm making money on the wave.
You can do that.
And the reality is, I can put my assurity that I'm going to make money because the guy is also doing it too. It's not like he wants to lose his money.
Right.
So he ain't going to lose his money. So I'm really just riding the wave with him. I'm just coattailing his success.
And that's, if you want to be honest, that's even the guys that have arrived. Like I'm talking about. I ain't naming no names, but I'm talking about the guys that's making $500,000, $700,000 a year. They be paying. I know a guy personally that still pays for signals. And he has a lot of money because why? He didn't want to actually learn how to trade.
Yeah.
But
he's just got more money to put on it, so his yield is higher.
He got lucky and got with the right person and found that, okay, this guy's a very profitable trader. I make this much a year, or I make this much a month, and I pay him $200 a month for some signals, and I know that his signals is very profitable and they work. I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? If you got that much money,
you're coattailing someone.
Yeah, that's
but the downside to that is let's say I did that, right? Let's say I was that guy and I was maximizing my income because I was betting on the signals from this person.
Right.
The downside is my profit, my income, my yield is all tethered to that guy.
Yeah.
So if that guy one day goes, hey, I'm going to take 6 months off, or I'm done, I quit, I retire, whatever.
You're screwed.
I'm donezo.
You're screwed.
Oh, my game's done.
You're done. And so that's why you want to be honest, I have a signal package, but I let those people that purchase my signal package get on Zoom every now and then.
Just to kind of learn the game.
Yeah, so because I don't ever get in a trade if I don't know what the market is. I'm not finna just get in a trade and hope that I make money. No, I got alerts on my phone.
You want a surety.
Yeah, I want confirmation. I want about 3 to 4 confirmations to get in this trade.
Because this is your real money. This is real money.
I was living off this for a little bit. Before I got my coaching job, before I went to play football again, I was just strictly living off of Forex. And so with that being said, it's like, I'm not finna lose my money like that. So
yeah.
When I put in a position, I'm going to make sure that the indicators that I have is confirmation. My software that my programmer created, that's confirmation. The news is confirmation, and anything else that I can find, they're saying get in this trade. Okay, I'm going to get in that trade. But if I don't have that, I'm not getting in the trade.
Because you don't want to waste your money too.
No,
and that's one of the best things that I appreciate when I see people who coach. Right? There's so many industries in the world where the coaches are no longer playing.
Mm-mm.
And I love the fact that when you talk about day trading, The coaches are still playing. Your money is also tethered to this bet I'm asking. Because here's the cold reality, man. Let's just boil it down. Let's boil the water down and get to the substance. If you're my coach or you're my mentor, and you're asking me to, hey, you're advising me. Let's change that. You're advising me to put my money here. You're basically telling me to bet on that. And at the same time, you're also betting on it. So I get some confidence that it should work because you're betting on it too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say betting because that's like a gambling term. It's like if Tesla stock is going up, Amazon is going up, those companies are worth trillions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Those are the top 2 companies in NASDAQ 100. So if both of them are in a buy and their spread is only 70 and Amazon is 200, but if their spread is that, and they're going up into a buy, only thing you have to do is go to the indice NASDAQ and buy.
And catch them on the low like we talked about.
That's it. That's literally it because those companies run NASDAQ.
So how much money, and again, I get there's different levels to everything. I understand that.
Right.
But if I'm new and I want to get into it, let's say I'm watching this, I knew nothing about it, but I'm watching you. I hear what you're saying. I see you're making money. Mm-hmm. How much money can I really get into this with? How much money? Again, I get the whole concept. We've learned the concept.
It depends on how much
demos.
money you're willing to risk. It depends on how much. If you make $20,000 a month, I mean, you can put in $5,000.
But what's my minimum? What if I let's just be honest. What if I work at Burger King and all I've got is $200? Is that not enough? Is that not going to be worth it?
That's a start. Yeah, that's going to be worth it. It's a start, but you're going to really have to it's your craft. You're going to really have to practice.
You're going to have to harness that.
Yeah, because the less capital you have to risk,
the lower your possible reward.
Yes, and so you can't aim big because you don't have enough money to aim big. But you also can learn consistency. You can learn discipline because with the $200 account, you don't want to risk more than maybe 10 pips to 15. 15 is pushing it, and pips is basically the same thing as that's how you measure the market. And so that's the term. Like, say you walked outside today and you walked a mile. That's your measure. That's your measurement of how you walk, how far you walked. Right? Pips is what measures the market.
A measuring scale.
Yeah. And so if you don't want to, if you got $200 account, you don't want to risk 10 pips to 15 pips because that means you're going to have, depending on the spread, you're going to lose $20 to $30 that day. Now you only got the 170. You know what I'm saying?
It happened fast.
It happened fast. And so if you get in, if you get with a decent pair that you know that market has a lot of is volatile, you can actually, have a low lot size and make your $10, make your $10 in a 30 minutes and put it like that and take your profit and then do that 3 more times.
And just keep making it. And then as you
what's
start
10 times 10?
100.
So if you do that 10 times a day, I mean, you're
making $100 a day.
You're making $100.
And then all of a sudden I got more money to put back in and I can double and triple and quadruple my yield.
You can build your account. And so then you get to the point where you're like, I can really do this.
So basically the sum of it is, and again, this is anything, with anything trading or anything stocks or anything investments, the more you have to put in, the more you're going to yield return.
Right.
But at the same time, you've got to get in and you've got to learn it. Because if you're 20, 30, 40, I don't care if you're 50, these are skills you're going to be able to have at the end of the game. These are skills you're going to be able to have when your body gives up.
Forever.
When you're 50, 60, and 70, and you can't go out and physically work, or you can't go do the things that you're currently doing in your career and endeavor, you can still get on a computer and trade.
Forever. And that's a skill. It's a skill. It's a skill. And so that's what I'm going to teach my kids. I'm going to keep teaching my kids. I don't want to, well, I can say it. I'm going to teach my kids anything with coding and in the market. They're going to learn that if they want to play sports, they can play sports. But
you better have this.
They're going to know those 2 things because those 2 things right there run the world.
100%.
If you know how to code, you're gonna make a bunch of money for the rest of your life. If you know the market, you're gonna make a bunch of money for the rest of your life. You're not gonna have to work for nobody. You get what I'm saying?
And I think that, and I love that we, are getting to the end on this topic. Those are things that are generational catapults.
Yeah.
If your grandparents or their parents or your parents, they didn't understand this, well, we didn't get the opportunity to learn these things. Mm-hmm. But when you look at families of generational wealth, when you look at families, and I love that we got to this when we talked about it earlier, families that they had a start that we didn't. Mm-hmm. When we started that race, we were 50 feet behind them. Right. And now we're having to run faster just to get to where they started. Mm-hmm. I'm not even getting to where you're at, or I'm not even beating you. I'm just getting to where you started the race. It's because we didn't know those things.
Right.
But we, as a people, as a individual, we have the ability to put our foot on the ground, put our flag in the dirt, and go, I'm going to learn these skills. I'm going to learn these trades. I'm going to learn these different abilities that I can pass down to my kids and to their kids and to their kids and our generation. The last name Ebbs, the last name Vaughns, they're never going to have to worry about this again.
Right.
We're going to have these things. And I'm not saying you have to take that route. Just like you said, if they want to play sports, they can play sports. But you're going to have that foundation. Right. You're not going to go, I didn't know about the stock market.
If I have 4 kids, one of them going to get it. If I have 5 kids, one of them is going to get it.
Yeah.
One of them is going to say, okay, I'm going to do what Dad taught me. The other 3 or 4, whatever, they're going to do what they want to do. But I know one kid is going to get it. And that one kid is going to keep, like you said, the generation going.
It's going to keep it going.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this to sum up, man. If there were one asset, one trait, one characteristic that separated those in the trading market from being successful and failing, the good and the bad, the wins and the losses, the guys who are making money and they're profitable, mm-hmm. and the guys who go, man, this was crap. What's that thing that separates them?
It might be cliche, but the only thing it is discipline. Like with everything with life, it's just discipline. Knowing when to take your losses, knowing when to take your profit. You just got to have that. You got to condition your mind to be okay with how much money you're making. You can't get greedy because you're not with a prop firm or an investment firm or a hedge firm that's trading your money, that's managing your portfolio. So with first-hand trading, with the Forex, you got to be disciplined and you got to know when to stop. Like, you can't be greedy. If you make $500 a day, or if you make $300 a day, that's $100K a year. Why wouldn't you stop?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you? Yeah. Now, if you have a bunch of money to keep to risk more, you keep trading. But if you got a $5,000 account, you make $300, stop.
So the guys got to know when to take their chips and get out the casino.
That's the difference. That's literally different. Just being disciplined.
Just being disciplined enough to take my chips, look at the dealer, and go, no, I'm done.
I'm done. I just made $300. I'm done for the day. 300 times 5 is 800 a week. 800 times 4 weeks. You make an extra $2,400 a month by being disciplined.
Just being disciplined. Man, it's been awesome. I appreciate you being on the show. Let me ask you this to end. If I was someone who was watching and I wanted to get in the game and I wanted to learn from you, I saw this show and I thought, man, this guy is someone who Kevin trusts. I trust him. I want to learn the game. How can they get to you, and how can they learn the game from you?
I would say at me on Instagram is _IamVVS_, or you can just go type in my website, VV Synergy, VVSYN. NERGY, and just make sure I got it right, .com. And that's VV Synergy at .com. And so that's what I would, I have a page where you can sign up, put your number in, put your email in, and trust me, I get a notification every time someone views my page. I get a notification every time someone signs up to put their information. I get a notification. But I would say the main platform that I honestly use is Instagram. I'm on Facebook a little bit. I'm on Twitter a little bit, but Instagram, IamVVS _IamVVS_. That'll be the main page that I will respond from.
Nice. For those of you guys watching, man, if you want to get in the Forex game, if you want to learn more about his brand, if you want to buy some merch, check out his site, check out his Instagram. Again, if they're on this show, it's because I support them, I believe in them, and I have acknowledged their success in the marketplace. We appreciate you being on the show. We appreciate all you guys for watching today's episode. And we are so excited to see where our journey takes us as we continuously learn the game of business, entrepreneurship, and the world that we are starting to prosper and becoming more diverse in our business portfolio. Thanks so much, guys, and appreciate you guys being on today's episode of A Student of the Game podcast.